I'm Michael Hickey, fifth generation here in Carpinteria, California. Go way back to 1860. My family was the first white settlers in Carpinteria Valley. I'm also a local Lion and a past president of the Lions Club here in Carpinteria.
Do you want your mask on like that? You can take it off or leave it on either way.
Whatever.
Okay. So Michael, tell me, why are you in favor of President Trump?
I'm in favor of President Trump because I'm Republican and I'm very conservative and I don't want new taxes and I don't want a socialist government and I don't want a communist government. I'm for capitalism.
And I'll let you go next. Who is the communist that you see lurking that might be out there?
Biden and Harris and the rest of their party right now, they've gone fairly to the left, and it's getting worse. And they're leaning towards most socialist policies, and I don't like that. I'm for more capitalism and for more freedom and less taxes and less control and less government control.
Is an example of that the way that he's handled the virus, less government control?
He's handled the virus pretty good under the circumstances. You know, they've tried to give him a lot of blame for it, but you got to remember this: China started this virus. They knew about it back in November of 1919, and they kept it a secret to late January. Then finally it got out when people started getting sick around Asia and eventually spread to the rest of the world. And they they let it out and they killed the two scientists that wanted to release the information to the world, and they wouldn't let them do it.
Why is that still important at this point after 6 months? Why is that still an important factor?
They might have been able to stop it in China before it became a full-scale epidemic.
I know, but that's what can you do now? That's history.
Sure, you can't do it's done now, and we got to live with it. And I think we're going to be living with this virus for a long time. Hopefully, we'll get a vaccine soon, and hopefully that will help too. But a lot of people will be afraid to get a vaccine right off the bat because they won't know what it's going to do to them, and they won't know what's in the vaccine itself.
Yeah, as someone that lives here in Carpinteria, are you worried about people coming in? Let's say the vaccine, somebody can always come in and introduce it again. How do
That's
you stop that?
You can't stop it, really. Now you can't stop it, and it may happen. And I'm not in favor of closing the state park. There's a lot of businesses in town that depend on the state park and depend on its revenue and depend on its campers to bring in business to the local restaurants and local businesses so they can survive.
Tell me, do you think Trump is a racist?
No, I don't think he's a racist. He never has been. I think it's more like Biden, Obama, Harris. They're racist quite a bit, and it's a double standard thing. They get away with a lot of things that the Republicans don't get away with, and like there's a lot of things that they get away with, and it's a double standard thing.
Some people would say that Trump is more just out for himself than for the world. Is this true? What would you say about that?
I don't think that's really true. Trump wants to help the country. He wants to help everybody, and he wants to put us back on the world stage and make us respected again.
And do you feel like he's helped us on the world stage?
On the whole, he has. At least he's not going around the world apologizing to everybody and bowing before leaders in the Middle East like our last president did.
What do you think is going to happen on election night?
I think Trump will win.
And what's the sense of that from newspapers or TV or?
Look at his rallies. There's been a lot of people at his rallies, and there's been very few people at Biden's rallies. Biden had a rally last Saturday, and it was all Trump people there, and they even had a Trump car parade there, and it was all Trump signs,
So enthusiasm for Trump is what you're really getting a sense of.
basically.
Yeah. But some people would say that there aren't a lot of people at Biden's rallies because they're being careful not to get close and get COVID-19. Thoughts about that?
I think a lot of it is blown out of proportion. I think the mask thing is blown out of proportion. I don't think we really need masks all the time. I have a hard time wearing the mask because of the rosacea on my nose, and so I wear it when I absolutely have to, and take it off or put it down when I can because it gets very uncomfortable and it's hard to breathe in a mask.
I understand that you think Trump's going to win, but let's say he doesn't. What, there's that period between the election
If he
and
doesn't,
the inauguration.
if he doesn't, pray for America because we're going to be headed down a socialist path, communist path, and you're going to see a lot of policies change, and you're going to see a lot of things that Trump did for the environment, and a lot of things he's done for coal and oil, and he put us back on the world stage at #1 for energy. And if he doesn't win, it's all going to be reversed, and we're going to go downhill again. And there's going to be a lot of people that are in coal in Pennsylvania and Maryland and Virginia that will be hurting because they won't be able to mine coal like they did before.
I see a lot of people going to his rallies, and I appreciate that. But you've probably voted for Republican presidents in every election that you could.
I've always voted Republican when it comes for presidents.
Why aren't the other Republican presidents, past presidents, helping Trump?
Because Trump isn't a part of the swamp, and he's out to do his own thing, and he's out to make America better and deliver us from the policies of the old that put us in the boat that we're in.
So Bush too, you're not that crazy
Oh, I loved both Bushes. I'm very upset with them now that they won't support Trump.
about. In terms of draining the swamp, do you feel like Trump has drained the swamp?
It's the Democrats have drained the swamp, but at the same time, it's also the Republicans too. Same old policies that don't work. And I can remember growing up, my mom always said that it could be a Democratic president, but give us the House and the Senate because it's the House and Senate that make the laws. And basically what I've said for years, the President of the United States is just a puppet with Congress and the Senate. He pretty much does what they want to be done in a lot of ways because they pass the bills and
I think you got to have a lot of good points. And, you're a political, watch a lot of
yeah.
politics. Yeah. Tell me where you get your news.
I get my news from talk radio, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Michael Reagan, and Michael Reagan.
There are radio shows or there are TV shows or both.
Both, really. And I listen to a lot of conservative radio on Sirius XM, but I also listen to a lot of sports radio. I could remember my parents, they weren't afraid to talk about politics about it at the dinner table in front of us, and that's how we've learned over the years, my sisters and I, about politics. And I can remember my dad used to say every time they passed a law, people don't realize it, but every time they pass a law, it's another one of their freedoms being eliminated, which is so true.
The Republican Senate has passed
They haven't done a lot because the House is under Democratic control. It's a stalemate because one House is Democrat, one House is Republican. Then you have a Republican president, so it's a standoff. And so that's why there hasn't been a lot of getting done.
There hasn't been a lot done.
No, there hasn't. And that's a really elementary question. People should know that already.
Well, what do you think about Trump's immigration policies of having, well, kids separated from their parents and locking up kids? Do you think that's happening? Any thoughts about it?
I'd hate to see kids separated, but at the same time, people need to come here legally. Back when my ancestors came here, they came into the U.S. legally, and they had to learn the language, learn the laws, and and go through the proper channels. Now you just can walk right across the border, and you're in the country, and you get to stay, and you don't have to worry about our laws. You don't have to worry about our language and America's way of life.
Do you feel some people say that illegal immigrants help our community and they do jobs that others wouldn't want to do? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Actually, there's some truth to that, but at the same time, they're taking a lot of jobs away from Americans, and that's why you see unemployment so high. It's not right now. Sure, coronavirus has a lot to do with it, but I'm talking about pre-COVID.
And have there been, what surprises have there been during this last year in the election? Any that you found interesting or that are memorable?
It,
Well, not necessarily surprises, but anything in particular?
I really like the Republican convention and how they used the White House for a backdrop on the third night, and that was spectacular. And then they used the Washington Mall for a backdrop. Then I love the Trump's rallies, how he uses Air Force One in the background for his rallies. That 747 looks good.
He knows TV and media very well. He
Yeah,
knows presentation very well.
yeah,
He's a good showman.
yeah.
Some people would say, though, that
But our media is very biased.
not on Fox and Laura Ingraham and
No. But Fox is not as conservative as it used to be.
but it's also the most popular news show on TV.
It is that.
Well, so, well, let's see about the, you feel there's a fake media, and what is it?
Fake media is CNN, NBC, ABC. They're very biased.
New York
And CBS, New York Times, New York Post,
Not New York
Wa-
Post, Washington.
Washington Post. Well, there is a New York Post.
Yeah, but New York Post does a lot of what Trump owns.
I see a lot of negative stuff too.
Maybe.
Yeah. Then, then I get a lot of my information off the internet, and I get a lot of information through Facebook because all the media uses Facebook these days too.
Are you concerned that the Russians trying to affect the election in other foreign countries?
Yes, I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about Iran, but they tried to say that Russia gave the election to Trump 4 years ago. That's been proven not to be true. And there's been a lot of evidence from the FBI that's come out since then proving it not to be true.
Why do you think Trump likes Russia and Putin so much?
I don't think he really likes them, but you got to work with them to maybe end our differences and get along. Somehow, some way, we got to work with China, but I don't see how right now. And they're very dishonest, China, and I don't trust China, and I don't trust Russia. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them really.
Well, some people would say Trump has investments in Russia and maybe China too, and that he should show his tax return. Any thoughts about
I don't think we need to see his tax returns. Personally, I don't think that's any of our business, really. If he wants to show us, sure. I'd like to see him. But I'm not going to demand that we see him because it's a personal thing, really. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that he has to show us his tax returns.
Well, we're putting together documentaries. I say we've been working on it.
Uh-huh.
Is it okay if we use what you're saying today in the documentary?
Sure.
And is there anything else you'd like to say about the election or Trump or Biden?
Go Trump. Go Republicans. Let's take the House and Senate both back. And let's turn California blue. Or red. I mean red. Ding dong. Well, when I was younger, Republicans used to be blue and the Democrats were red, but somewhere along the line over the years it got switched.
And the Russians are the reds.
Because back when 1980, when Reagan ran in '84, we were blue then, and I think we were blue and when Bush Sr. ran, then somewhere along the line they got switched.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That was a lot of great stuff. Yeah, well, thank you very much for
You're welcome.